That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
Fairly alarmed here.
Welcome to Masters of the Nerdiverse presents Random Select, also known as MOTN Random Select, where we randomly choose 8 films and pit them against each other in Mortal Kombat. Hashtag listen to our Mortal Kombat MOTN reviews. It is a fatality and also flawless in its victory. I am, of course, your Median Gateway dweller, known as Mike G, and I'm happy to bring back to the show Winter Trash Monk III.
Hold on, give me a nickname.
Okay, Winter the Scandinavian Scandal.
No, I don't like it. Yeah, I'm Trash Monk III. Trash Monk. Aye. I'm coming at you.
I'm only a man, dog.
Yeah, but be a better one.
Okay, I'm going to try better with Brian. Okay, also with us on this MOTN Random Select is Brian, the Massacre Madman. Brian.
Oh, what up? It's Halloween, baby. How's it going? What are we up to? We're what, 10 days in?
Yeah, man. I'm already doing the spooks, dog.
Yeah, you been in any cornfields, any mazes, any haunted houses quite yet? Fun fact, where I'm from, well, in a town near where I'm from, you can see a horse go into a bar. A person on a horse go into a bar.
Dude.
Have a drink.
Not to get too derailed, but did you see that video of the elk just busting through like that beauty parlor? No,
I did not.
People were just in a beauty parlor getting their hair done, and off vert, like an elk just busted through like the window, the front window of the beauty supply, and just ran to the back, and everybody's like, what the hell?
Yeah, man, they'll kill you.
Elk was totally fine.
He needs that Brill cream.
The elk needed to comb over now. But if you're listening to this episode, you know that this is a horror movie themed Masters of the Nerdiverse presents Random Select. So we randomly chosen 8 horror films to pit against each other, ranging in genre, because there's genres within genres, ladies and gentlemen, in decade, in theme. This is all over the place, and I'm really excited to get these movies against each other and have them pit it out and fight it out. So the movies we've chosen, or that was randomly chosen, for this particular match is Clive Barker's own. Clive Barker directed, release date February 16th, 1990, Nightbreed. And what's the other movie, Brian?
We have 1985 Stephen King novel and screenplay, Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet
terrorizes a small city where lives the paralytic Marty Coleslaw. His uncle, his sister, the story's narrator.
Nice. And for Nightbreed, why you got Brill cream in my head, Winter? Night Brill.
Night Brill cream.
Night Brill cream.
For when you're sleeping but need to look dapper.
You're dapper in your dreams.
I didn't know why I said it.
Freddy can't attack you if you're dapper in your dreams. This film follows the unstable mental patient of Aaron Boone, who is falsely led to believe by his doctor, who is a serial killer, that he gets it. This I can't even finish reading this, dude. It's so out of control. He finds a cemetery in it's called Midian, and there's a tribe of monsters. They're called the Nightbreed. Nightbreed.
And I mean that about opens that, because I mean Nightbreed is just a bat full of crazy.
I love it. I love every second of it. As I like to do, as we like to do. Brian, what was your experience with Nightbreed?
Saw Nightbreed back a long time ago. It was too small to even remember. I only remembered very few clips and scenes from it.
How about you, Winter?
Yeah, I watched it a couple of weeks ago on I can't remember what the streaming site was, Tubi or something like that.
Yeah,
and I had to watch it over again in certain spots because I was playing a video game while playing it, and it was like it started off as a serial killer movie, and then after I was done playing one ARAM of League of Legends, it was like a whole other movie. And I'm like, oh, okay.
It flips
and then
on
I
you.
play another game, and then there's like townsfolk killing monsters. I'm like, okay,
It
this
super
is
flips
a
on
movie
you.
that deserves my time. So
Yes,
I
absolutely.
watched it over again.
Absolutely. For me, I've only recently seen this in the last like year or so, because it was one of those where I was really big into Hellraiser, Clive Barker, all that stuff. But this is one of those movies where when you were a kid and you would go to the movie store and you would see the box art. You're like, what the hell is that? This is one normal dude around like these monsters and freaks and geeks. And we just never picked it up. It's just one of those movies that was never in the house. So when I finally watched it like a year or so ago, I watched one of the many different cuts of this film, because this film has like 5 or 6 different edits and director's edits in the Midian cut. It's all over the place in regards to what's shown, what isn't shown, endings, all that crazy stuff.
Well, this is what I want to say about this movie is this movie made by anyone else is not good. It is not good. You know what I mean? That being said, Clive, I want to say Barker.
Yeah.
All right, Clive Barker. He's such a master that he turned this into something that you're like, I'm thoroughly freaking entertained. The story's good. What the hell am I watching and why am I enjoying it? I think it was something like 2 hours too.
Yeah.
So it wasn't exactly a short movie. But it starts slow, but it picks up and you get in there, man. And I mean, just a master.
Yeah, like Winter was saying, it's 2 different movies. It really reminds me of like, I see a lot of From Dusk Till Dawn in this movie, where you're given this film about a serial killer. About fun fact, the serial killer in this movie is David Cronenberg, the director of The Fly, and History, and what is it? And Slivers. I don't know why I can't think of any more Cronenberg films. But this movie starts as a slasher film, a very effective slasher film, and then it just makes a hard left into straight horror fantasy. This is almost like an adult fantasy movie with whimsy and ghouls, and it takes a hard left turn, and it never lets its foot off the brake all the way to the end of the movie, which I really appreciate about it.
Yeah, I mean, Clive Barker wrote the book that this was inspired from, but called The Cabal, I believe.
The Cabal cut is one of the actual another cut of the movie. But
the book itself is called Cabal or The Cabal, I believe. It's not titled Nightbreed.
Nah.
But it's interesting. Like, it definitely, if we were looking for evidence to show that authors should be able to control like what their movies are going to look like, the movies based on their work should look like, I would say Nightbreed is a good example of what happens when, you have the first cut, which is the producers meddling into the work, and then you have the Cabal cut, which is Clive Barker getting what he wanted out of the his movie. So you have examples there of letting the artist work with the art that he has made, and then you have the producers going in like, you wrote the book, you directed the movie, but we know what we want to do.
Exactly. And I think I'll close off this particular section with not many writers are such a one-man band as Clive Barker is. Yes. Like, he directed Hellraiser too, you know what I mean? Which is like to me is almost a perfect film for what it needs to do. And Clive Barker, picked the shots, did the screenplay, wrote the original idea. And he's always been stifled by Hollywood. He's always had a love-hate relationship with Hollywood. But I think that Nightbreed is one of his better outings simply because his original vision for it is almost just as perfect as Hellraiser. But unfortunately, with studio meddling, like Winter said, the version that most people saw wasn't his true vision. Now, Brian, what's your experience with Stephen King's Silver Bullet?
Also, movie that I saw when I was younger, but that being said, I'm a Stephen King fan, and I had dabbled in the book when I was younger, but the book is really, really big. So I don't believe I finished it, but it is possible. I do remember the cover. It was such a cool cover. But I love vampires. I love werewolves. This is my jam. And yeah, so I was happy that this popped up.
Absolutely. What about you, Winner?
Sorry, I had to mute myself for a minute. I'm joking. Anyways, I'm dying on the podcast. I gotta be honest, folks.
All right, here we go.
I like a lot of Stephen King stuff.
Yeah?
But this movie was not catered towards me.
Okay. I have a big 600-pound gorilla reason, probably why, but I'll let you say.
No. You say it, and then I'll figure out.
Was it partly because the man of the cloth ended up being the horrifying murdering monster?
No, I'm fine with that. We need more men of the cloth in movies, in my personal opinion.
I would agree with
that as well.
I don't every single one I think of, I'm like, yeah, pretty damn good movie, man.
Right,
pretty damn good movie. Exorcist, the Tom Hanks one, you know.
Yeah. What about the Ethan Hawke one that came out recently?
Oh, yeah.
Not a horror movie, but it's first reform. Yeah, that was a big one. But yeah, it's just
a rich history to pull from.
Right. I could see like an entire vampire series that gets really deep into, like, if they continued the Priest movie franchise. If you know,
Priest. Yeah, I know Priest with Paul Bettany.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. If they kept doing that, I could see myself going, why am I watching Priest 12?
You're just in. Yeah.
Yeah, but back to Silver Bullet. I mean, it was tough for me to get into. I'm willing to give it another shot in the future, but I don't quite know what it was. One thing is I'm not a fan of werewolves. For it to be
okay.
Yeah.
Well, when you say not a fan of werewolves, it's going to be Halloween, and I'm going to have to ask the question, like, what do you mean you're not a werewolf?
Like, I'm not
afraid of a werewolf? Do you know a werewolf? Like, has a werewolf personally offended you? Like, what happened?
It's just, I have not seen, the only werewolf movie that I liked was American Werewolf in London.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. It's hard not to like that movie,
right.
man.
And it wasn't really about the werewolf part that I enjoyed. It was all the added stuff around it, like his dead friend coming back and all that.
Yeah, Griffin Dunn, man.
Yeah. And it's like the werewolf movie with Benicio del Toro. I think someone was commenting that I was listening to that it looked like Benicio did not want to be on set.
Yeah,
was that the one with Jack Nicholson?
No, that's Wolf, dog.
That was
Wolf. I saw that one too, and I'm like,
yeah,
this is like the era of Jack Nicholson of The Postman Always Rings Twice, a remake. Dude. Where he's like, are they really having sex on screen?
Yep.
This is the era of Jack Nicholson where he was supposed to be a quote unquote sex icon.
That was a dark time in our country.
Yeah.
At any rate.
Back to Silver Bullet. It just didn't catch my eye.
I understand that. Speaking of missing eyes, this is one of those movies I did, like Brian, see a lot of when I was a kid. This was one that would show up on Showtime, on the movie channel back in the day, HBO. And it freaked me out, but also fascinated me because one of my favorite things about this movie was the titular Silver Bullet, was Corey Haim's bike / wheelchair that had a motor in it and it can go 70 miles per hour and was super dangerous. Cool. One of the coolest on-screen vehicles. It's one of my top 10 vehicles because as a kid, you just think I could build that. Me and my dad could just go in the back and build that. And I would go to my dad and say, Dad, I want to build a silver bullet. And he's just looking at me like, you're not handicapped. Just run. Like, I can't run faster than the silver bullet. He's like, well, you can ride your bike. And I was like, I don't want to ride a bike. And then my dad just told me to go sit down somewhere. But nevertheless, this movie kind of freaked me out just the way the werewolf is shot, even though some shots are really campy. But as a kid, I was afraid of werewolves, which kind of went all the way back to Michael Jackson's Thriller, and which was some of the scariest Michael Jackson werewolf makeup of all time by Rick Baker. And I've always had it, like, werewolves always got under my skin a little bit. There's something about it. Right. But I've always had a soft spot for Silver Bullet. It's like my top 10, I would say, revs, that revs my engine, movies that rev my engine. But it's not top 5. It's not one of my top 5 Stephen King films. Still, I love it. I will never turn, when it's on, I watch it. But overall, it's just really cool. And I like how they deal with certain topics, especially with the werewolf himself and how he kind of regrets being a werewolf. He has nightmares. There's a nightmare sequence in this movie that's really cool, where the whole church turns into werewolves. It's
absolutely
one of my favorite scenes in a Stephen King adaptation.
I like that.
Yeah, so those are my thoughts about it. So now we got to get to the point where we take off the kid gloves and we pit these two movies against each other.
That the Stephen King bit, it's better than the Langoliers movie. That's all.
Love the Langoliers.
It was better. It's better than the. It's not one of the worst Stephen King.
But it's no Graveyard Shift though.
Or the one with Jimmy Smits?
Or the Night Flyers. Tommy Knockers, dog. Or the Night Flyer, dog. You guys need to watch. We need to review the Night Flyer.
I'm in.
Yeah, Night Flyer's awesome with Miguel Ferreira, dog.
Or the one he recently did with John Cusack.
Or for that matter, Gerald's Game is an amazing Stephen King adaptation. Yeah. Anywho, these two films got to fight in a deadly kumite. Nightbreed versus Silver Bullet. Brian, who you got, man?
Dude, this for me is a little tough. I'm kind of sad that these two movies are going up because Nightbreed I genuinely turned out to like as a movie when also the makeup freaking fantastic.
Top notch. Amazing makeup in this movie.
God, you just miss the old days sometimes.
Yep.
At any rate, I myself Halloween, I'm going Silver Bullet. I'm a sucker for this movie. The priest torture gets me, and for the love of God, I forgot there was a time when Gary Busey was not batshit crazy.
Yeah, he keeps it together very well in this movie.
I was so happy to see him on screen. It was such a joy. I enjoyed it. I was smiling. So, Silver Bullet.
All right, I'll go next. I just got to harken on a lot of what Brian was saying. Nightbreed, very well done. Nightbreed, great villain in great mask, by the way, for David Cronenberg's serial killer. Thing about Nightbreed is that the theatrical cut is a bit all over the place, unfortunately, and that's the cut that most people saw. That's the first cut I saw. Amazing special effects, but Silver Bullet just holds a place in my heart. It has that whimsy it has that kid whimsy, like watching The Gate or The Goonies. You know what I mean? It has that. It's not so dark. You know what I mean? But it's still scary.
And it's a quality werewolf movie compared to how far we've come when you look at things like Underworld, and it's grounded. It's
dude, we had a
American
renaissance
Werewolf in London. Yeah, we're gonna get.
we had a renaissance of werewolf movies in the 80s and 90s. Absolutely. We had American Werewolf in London. We had The Howling. We had Silver Bullet. You know what I mean? There was just a ton of really good werewolf movies. Not to mention Dog Soldiers or Ginger Snaps. Or if you've never seen Ginger Snaps, where the girl is a female werewolf, it's amazing, dude. Ginger Snaps is awesome. But that being said, between these two films, as much as I love Clive Barker, as much as I love his work, I want Silver Bullet to win. I just think I'm having a better time. It's the better movie to me. than the 7 different versions of Nightbreed.
Winter.
Okay. So I think we need to go. I'm going to say Nightbreed is my choice. Okay.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Because I think we can't really like review the movie based on the theatrical cut due to Clive Barker didn't get to have his way sort of thing.
Man, it's tough, man.
Yeah. And
Tough cuts, man.
Hashtag hard cuts, though.
Yeah. But it's Nightbreed is a type of movie that I will definitely watch again. There's stuff that you'll miss. I like looking at the special, like the makeup, the costume and makeup. It's fascinating. And I like movies that are like deep lore and like there's like weird.
Oh yeah.
There's like a
whole universe, man.
A whole universe that you're introduced to, and thankfully there's no like a Nightbreed 2 that I know. Of.
I kind of feel bad there isn't. There's books and there is Intermediate and there's tons of books and literature that Clive has elaborated on with Nightbreed.
Right.
And now that you mention it, I think the biggest disappointment with Nightbreed is that it didn't expand. It didn't flourish on the silver screen. It was actually...
we're getting the TV show.
Fingers crossed, Yeah.
I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, they're supposedly coming out with a TV show, but Nightbreed is one of those things, like you said, where it's so macro in its ambition.
Right.
And it's this huge, sprawling universe. And it just sometimes, even the ending of the film just feels a little all over the place. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think the Cabal cut kind of fixes some of that.
Yeah.
But again, there is like a whole. It is true. There is a lot going on at the end. I feel like maybe if it was okay at the time, the movie could have gone another 30 or 40 minutes. To be honest with you,
the Cabal cut's pretty long, man.
Yeah. But it's again, I think it will flourish well as a TV show than
just a film.
Yeah, but I still like it, man.
I definitely feel that, and just piggyback off that, and kind of come to a little bit of a close. I think there's something to be said about a simple story. Mm-hmm. There's something to be said about a beginning, middle, and end. And I think where Nightbreed kind of fumbles that a little bit in its execution, Silver Bullet has a beginning, middle, and end for our characters. Evil is thwarted. That bike rules, and we kind of come to a happy conclusion. It's not necessarily as deep or as thoughtful as Nightbreed or Midian or any of the creatures within, but it does give you a concise story that you can, set a watch to, and that's why it gets my vote.
It's fun.
It's fun. And I'm not. And this is nitpicking molecule levels of issues. Like I love Nightbreed. Nightbreed is awesome. But if you were to ask me what do I feel is the better film, I think it's Silver Bullet.
What do you guys think?
What do you think? When this episode drops on our Twitter, which is @mnerdiverse, I'm going to take it to the Nerdiverse, and you're going to decide which is the better film, Nightbreed or Silver Bullet. So please follow us on Twitter, which is @mnerdiverse once again, and join in on the poll so we can get an idea of what the Nerdiverse thinks and tell us if we're wrong or right, and yell at us and scream and get all evangelistic and angry. I want to see anger, guys. The purest Halloween fury. Isn't that right, Brian?
Correct. It's Halloween. You better enjoy it.
You better enjoy it and eat melt down caramel corn into a glove and just shove it into your mouth.
Dude,
do
you
it.
guys candy corn fan?
No.
No. Actually,
No. I like looking like a vampire with them, but that's about it.
Oh,
so, where can we find you, Brian?
You can find me at Brian J. Wash and Wash's Shop on eBay.
Where can we find you, Winner?
You can find me at Trash Monk, the third Trash Monk, I, folks.
And you can find us at mnerdiverse on Twitter, as well as at our website, masternerdiversecast.com. I've, of course, been your host, Mike G. I want to thank you, fellas, for joining us on this latest episode of Random Select.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I can't wait for the next one.
Can't wait for the next one. And until then, holla. And until then, I will always ask you to look towards the skies. Look towards the skis.